The Battle of Radzymin was one of a series of engagements between the 1st Byelorussian Front of the Red Army and the Army Group Center of the German Army. The battle was part of the Lublin-Brest Offensive between the 1st and the 4th of August 1944 at the conclusion of Operation Bagration the Belorussian strategic offensive operation near the town of Radzymin in the vicinity of Warsaw, part of which entailed a large tank battle at Wołomin. It was the largest tank battle on the territories of Poland during the war. The approach of the Red Army towards Warsaw served to initiate the Warsaw Uprising by the Home Army with expectation of help from the Red Army. The battle ended in a Soviet defeat and the encirclement and destruction of the Soviet 3rd Tank Corps. It is unclear to what extent this defeat contributed to the Soviet decision not to aid the Warsaw Uprising. After crossing into Poland, the Red Army's 1st Byelorussian Front of Konstantin Rokossovski continued its advance towards Warsaw. The 65th Army together with the attached 1st Guards Tank Corps was to advance towards the town of Zegrze and then outflank Warsaw from the north. The 28th Army together with 1st Mechanized and 9th Tank Corps was advancing directly towards Warsaw and was separated from the 47th Army by the Mińsk Mazowiecki line, and from the 65th Army by the Sokolo-Podlaski-Zegrze Radzymin line. Both armies, additionally supported by the 2nd and 4th Guards Cavalry Corps, were destined to take part in repelling a German tactical counterassault at Radzymin and Wołomin near Warsaw. At the same time, the 47th Army was to seize the southern approaches to Praga, seize right bank Warsaw and cross the river through the bridges in Warsaw or through a temporary bridge in Góra Kalwaria. The 70th Army was to follow the 47th and serve as a tactical reserve. At the same time, the remaining forces of the front were to support the assault on Warsaw by crossing the Vistula, south of it, near Magnusu and outflanking the city from the south and west. The 8th Guards Army together with the 1st Polish Army and 69th Army were to cross the river at Magnusu. After the Soviet reconnaissance units reached Warsaw in late July, on August 1, 1944 the Warsaw Uprising started. Starting from an area south of Mińsk Mazowiecki, Major General Nikolai Vedeneev's 3rd Tank Corps thrust northwest through Okuniew and Wołomin to Radzymin, reaching an area only 3 miles from the strategic bridge over the Narew River at Zegrze. In response to Vedeneev's thrust, the Germans started a tactical counterattack near Radzymin on July 31. The offensive, carried out by 4 understrength panzer divisions, was to secure the eastern approaches to Warsaw and Vistula crossings, and aimed to destroy the 3 Tank Corps of the 2nd Tank Army in detail. Under the leadership of German Field Marshal Model, the 4th, 19th, Hermann Göring, and 5th SS Panzer Divisions were concentrated from different areas with their arrival in the area of Wołomin occurring between July 31 and August 1, 1944. Although the 3rd Tank Corps gamely defended the initial assaults of the Hermann Göring and 19th Panzer Divisions, the arrival of the 4th Panzer and 5th SS Panzer Division spelled doom for the isolated and outnumbered unit. Already on August 1, the leading elements of the 19th and 5th SS Panzer Divisions, closing from the west and east respectively, met at Okuniew, cutting the 3rd Tank Corps off from the other units of the 2nd Tank Army. Pressed into the area of Wołomin, the 3rd Tank Corps was pocketed and destroyed on August 3, 1944. Attempts to reach the doomed Tank Corps by the 8th Guards Tank Corps and the 16th Tank Corps failed, with the 8th Guards Tank Corps taking serious losses in the attempt. Although Model had planned to attack the 8th Guards Tank Corps next, the withdrawal of the 19th and Hermann Göring Panzer Divisions to shore up the German defenses around the Magnusu bridgehead forced the remaining German forces around Okuniew to go on the defensive. 4-5. For unknown reasons, on August 2, 1944 all armies that were to assault Warsaw had their orders changed. The 28th, 47th, and 65th Armies were ordered to turn northwards and seize the undefended town of Blisko and the Lublin-Brest River line. The 2nd Tank Army was left in place and had to fight the Germans alone, without support of the infantry. Also, 69th Army was ordered to stop while the 8th Guards Army under Vasily Chukov was ordered to halt the assault and await a German attack from the direction of Garwolin. Further combat lasted until August 10, when the Germans finally withdrew. Soviet losses were heavy, but not heavy enough to affect the overall course of their thrust to the vicinity of Warsaw. The 3rd Tank Corps was destroyed, the 8th Guards Tank Corps took heavy losses, and the 16th Tank Corps took significant losses as well. Overall, the 2nd Tank Army's losses were significant.
While approaching the eastern suburbs of the city, the Red Army halted combat operations, enabling the Germans to regroup and defeat the Polish resistance and to destroy the city in retaliation. The uprising was fought for 63 days with little outside support. It was the single largest military effort taken by any European resistance movement during World War II. The uprising began on August 1, 1944 as part of a nationwide Operation Tempest, launched at the time of the Soviet Lublin-Brest Offensive. By the first week of September, both German and Polish commanders realized that the Soviet army was unlikely to act to break the stalemate. On September 7, General Rohr proposed negotiations, which Boryko-Morawski agreed to pursue the following day. Over the 9th and the 10th of September, about 20,000 civilians were evacuated by agreement of both sides, and Rohr recognized the right of Home Army soldiers to be treated as military combatants. By the morning of September 27, the Germans had retaken Mokoto. Talks restarted on September 28. In the evening of September 30, Żoliborz fell to the Germans. The Poles were being pushed back into fewer and fewer streets, and their situation was ever more desperate.